How are you? Oh, Socorrigo again. Oh, no, today I didn't see you. Did you come in the Spanish one? I don't think so. It gets too much, doesn't it? It's hot in here. Oh, I have the heater now. I hate to tell you this, but it's it's freezing today here. This is crazy weather. I mean, it's supposed to be hot, and it is. The sun's out, but it's still cold. Lourdes Vega. Ha ha. Uh huh. Lourdes Vega. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Okay, let me see now. Oh, there's somebody here. Who are you? Uh-huh. Oh, hi. Are you doing okay, Johnny? How's Lourdes doing? Lourdes Vega. And Johnny Camaro. Very good. Oh. Hmm. So, today's been good. Nothing super exciting happening, except we got this call from the city, and we have to stay home from 6 to, oh no, from 8 to 5 in the morning, from 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning. We're stuck. Oh, it's Ruben again. Poor guy. He's going to have to go through this whole English thing. Hi, Ruben. Hi. Oh, good. You're doing good, Lourdes. And how about the family? Good. And of course, Johnny's family's doing okay. I see them all the time on the internet. Okay. Oh, I see. Aha. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. Boom, ba-dum. There we go. Hmm. Hi again. I know. Okay. Let me see. So let's begin. Today is the feast of Mary, Mother of the Church. That's a nice feast day today. I have my breviary here, and we're already out of the Easter season. So now we're back to the other book, which I don't have. I have it in my room. But this is our breviary. See? Ooh, gold edges. Whoa. It's a gift. Nice, huh? Yeah. But we don't need it anymore. After all these years, I finally get this nice, beautiful gold gilded edged book. And then we don't need it anymore because it's in the computer now and it's free. And that costs like 300 bucks, the whole set. It's a huge, there's four of these huge books, and we're supposed to read them every day. Plus, we have, like, for instance, here's the readings. Here's the readings. Look at all the stuff we have to do while you guys are eating huevos con chorizo. See this? This is the first reading. And then this is the first reading. Then we have a little psalm, and then a responsive. Then we have the second reading. We have to do this every morning, and usually the first reading is from the Bible, and the other reading is. Then we have to go over to the other side of the book, and then we read these psalms, three of them, and then we have the readings, and then that's only the readings. That's only what we call the section of the readings. Okay, well, we call it an office, but not like the office, like you're in an office or Microsoft Office. No, it's just called the office. Okay, the way of reading. Okay, so anyway, I don't know what it really means, but those are the readings, the reading part. Then we have the morning prayer, which is another three psalms, and then a short little reading, and then one of the beautiful lyrical prayers from the Bible, either the Benedictus or the Magnificat. And the Magnificat is not like a superhero, like Mighty Mouse and the Magnificat. It's Magnificat means I praise, praising the Lord. The hymn of the Virgin Mary in Saint Luke. So that's a hymn, and the other one's a hymn of of come on. Well, they're called canticles. It's Canticle of Zechariah. That's it. See how smart I am? Jeez, forget it. My mind is going, I know, I know, I know. It's terrible. But that's life. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we have to do it. Then after we have morning prayer, then we have three special prayers. You can say them in the afternoon, mid afternoon, or late afternoon, or whatever, and we can pick one of them. And then we have night prayer. It's another three psalms and then the Magnificat and all that plus plus. And then at night we have night prayer. Usually we do that on our own, and it's time. We usually play with community. All four of us. Yeah. How many books do you read per week? Nothing. Nothing. I can't stand. You know that I never liked reading. Isn't that terrible? That's why I always went to school all my life. I went to school because if I didn't go to school, I wouldn't read. It's horrible. And they let me go to school. I have four masters. And that's the only reason why I went is because I don't read if I don't go to school. And that seems like a lot of masters, but it really isn't. They're little teensy weensy ones. You can cheat with masters. Like when I went to the Jesuit School of Theology in Berkeley, I took a course and a course of and I got my Master's of Divinity. And then they said, if you do a paper and take four more courses, we'll get all of the courses you did already, shove them into this program just before you graduate, and boom, you start another one. So I did that, and they gave me another master's, but I had to write a paper. And it was about close to 200 pages, and it was called Mexican American Youth and Their Moral Value Systems. And it's bound and it's in the library at Berkeley. So it was a lot of work. And if it hadn't been for some nice lady who gave me a doctoral card, library card for the University of Berkeley, I would never have done the job I did. And I could go to any stall, pick out a book and take it home, even though nobody could take those books home, only doctoral students. So I would take it home and then copy lots of pages and I studied what Mexican American kids were going through in the 1970s. And then I had to do a huge questionnaire. It was about I'd say it was about 30 pages, something like that. And I had a copy. I'd give it to each kid, and I had like 275 kids from a Catholic school that was wealthy, a Catholic school that was not that wealthy, and then a public school. And that's how I got my number for that. That was a real pain, but that's what I do. Otherwise, thank you for that question. See what you got me saying. How many books do you read per week, month? Well, sometimes, yeah, now I do. I've read more now. I'm reading like three books at a shot. And then I'm doing math. Finally understood. I finally understood how to do adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Finally, I understood it. Before I didn't know what I was doing. In fact, I didn't know how I was doing even through grammar school. And remember, Johnny, we went to high school together. I used to get the best grades ever. I used to get grades for fine work. Fine work. Get it? People were getting awful grades. And I was getting the fine grades. I was getting all F's. I couldn't help it. I didn't know math. It's horrible. It's horrible when you don't know math. Because they put me to selling books once when I was a brother, a Salesian brother, and I lasted like about 10 minutes because I was giving back change, like $50 for somebody who gave me a $20 bill because I didn't know how to give out change. Thank you, brother Jesse. You can go over and just put the books in the little shelves, and I go, thank you. And when I went to college, they wouldn't let me take math because I was so bad in math. Isn't that horrible? Did I feel dumb? Yes. Was I dumb? No, because I was getting good grades in the other classes. It made up for the. Sometimes we just don't have the brain power. How many of you have kids there right now? Can you please raise your hands? If you have kids, push the little heart button there, please, immediately. Kids that are from, let's say, what do you call it? From 7 years old to 12 years old. Push the little love button there, please. Por favor. Come on, come on, come on. You don't have any kids at home? School kids, push the little heart button. Oh, thank God somebody pushed the little heart button. That's it. Only one person has kids that are school age at their home, because I want to do an experiment with you, okay, to show you how it's not us that sometimes don't get things. It's just the way we are as human beings. So I'm going to do a test and you're going to like it. Don't go away. I have to get my equipment. I'll be right back. And I think you'll all like it. You can play it on your children after. Well, your grandchildren, or if you don't have kids, borrow some. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to do an experiment. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Oh, dear God, help us. I'm back. Okay, these are glasses. You can do this at home. Then get a glass that's long like this and a short one like that. Okay, a low one. Now we're going to put the water in here. Okay, let me see. We got to put exactly the same amount of water. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this? This is an experiment. I have two 54-year-olds and a 53-year-old. I'm sorry, it's not going to work. So forget it. Okay, well, try it. Okay, here we go. Now it's harder to do it on this. Let me see. Can you? I hope I don't lose you. Please. Oh no. Rotate your phone. You can't turn your phone while recording. Uh-oh. Can you still see? I hope. Okay, there we go. Okay, now tell your children this. Okay. Oh no, now you can't see. Okay, here we go. Okay. See these glasses? This is slow, this is high and thin. But you can't see it because you have to go over here and give me nice black color background. Okay, now, what you're going to do is you're going to put these two glasses next to each other like this. There's the same amount of water in both of these glasses, okay? There's the same amount of water on these glasses, okay? Same amount of water, okay? Same amount of water. They have to be equally in size glasses, okay? They have to be the same type of glass, the same size, the same everything. Okay, okay, fill them up to halfways, okay? That won't overspill this big one here or that one. Now what you're going to do is you're going to pour those glasses into these two. Okay. Oop. Okay. So, are you ready? Oops, now let's put them like this. Okay. Now, oh boy. Okay, there we go. You see these here? Okay. Oops. Let's get a bit. Okay. Oh, you can't see. Here, let me take this off here. It won't go out of there. Okay, much better. Mucho más better. Okay. So now we have these glasses here, these two here, and we have these two here full of water. Equal amounts, okay? Now you ask your child after the question I'm going to ask you. Let me move this over here. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, now I know what I'm doing. Okay, oops. Oops, no, not good. Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay, now we have here equal amount of glass of water in these two glasses here. Same size glasses, okay? Oops. Let me move this down. Let me move these over here like this. Okay, are you ready? No, better yet. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, okay, here we go. Oh, better. Yes, better, better, better. Mucho better using my beautiful gilded books here. Okay. Okay, here they are. These are the two glasses. Equal amount of water in these two glasses. Okay, equal amount of water. Now, what I want you to ask your brilliant little children, they have to be no more than 12. They could be really 13 too. Okay, ask them the question from about, even the small ones. Okay, I'm going to pour this water, which is equal, okay, into these little vats here. See what I'm doing? See what I'm doing? Okay, I poured them in there. Now you ask your little child, this is A, this is B. Which one has more water? Quickly, and don't laugh and don't say anything. And don't give them hints. And don't try to explain it because they won't understand it, believe it or not. Okay. How many of your children said A? Raise your hand or press the little heart, please, immediately. Don't think. Just press the little heart. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum. You don't have kids in your house. Don't lie. Okay. Nobody? Okay, let's put them back again. Okay, let's put the water back again. Look, equal amount of water in both of these here. Okay, equal amount of water. Okay, equal amounts. Okay, now I'm going to pour them in here again. Remember, equal amount of water in both of these. I'm going to put it over here. Okay, ask your child which one has more water, A or B. Okay. I hope you adults don't say A. Well, I mean, I hope you do. Okay. Okay, we're going to pour them again back to where they belong. The same amount of water. Ooh. Yeah, I think we did this yesterday, didn't we? Okay. Now, the child who's like maybe 5 or 6, I think I did this in the Spanish group. I don't remember anymore because I'm doing two at one shot and it's kind of scary because I might say the same thing every other day. Okay, so what's happening here is that it's a law of science. It's called the law of conservation, which means that it doesn't matter how big or how wide, it's still the same amount of water. But even if I explain it to the kids, they still won't get it until they're about already in junior high. They get the law. It's a law and has to be thought out. And if you don't get it now, you'll get it some other way, but you'll get it. And you can't explain it to little children. No, this has more. And even if people, like, I always bring a child when I explain this thing so that they realize that don't call anybody dumb. They're just not at the stage, at the level you're at it learning. And most people right now are at this level where they say it's A and that's it. Most kids. Then there's some that are, belong in college already. That's something else, but that's gifts. Everybody has different gifts. And so, even when the little kids that I asked my students to ask one of their little brothers or sisters to get out of school that day, and then the mother says, okay, or the dad says, okay, or both say, okay, whoever's taking care of them, stepfather, stepmother, whatever. And they get out of school and they get to come to classes with me. And then they're usually like about 5 to 12-year-olds, and you know what they're going to say. So then we do this experiment, and then the teenager starts snickering and then laughing because they think it's funny because the little boy doesn't get it, or the little girl. And so then once the kids see that the adults well, in this case, the teenagers are laughing. They go, then it's B. It has more water, but they're just saying that because people are laughing. That's how much power. When you laugh at somebody, you ridicule somebody, you can change the way the person thinks. So then I take them outside of the class and I go, tell me secretly which one really had more water. Oh, A. It's still they just don't get it, not because they're dumb or anything, or they just can't understand it. It's not at their level yet. Just like when I told you yesterday, I think when the mother said, this little kid comes and asks his mom, Mom, where do I come from? And the mother, hi, Cello, hi, Ida. And the mother goes into this thing of, when mom and dad love each other, they get together and they do this and they do that. And the kid's only 5 years old and his eyes are getting bigger and bigger because mother's explaining all these physical things that go on with. And she goes, after she explains everything on how mom and dad have kids, the little boy's like in shock, and then he goes, does that explain it? He goes, well, Johnny just told me he comes from Chicago. I just want to know where I come from. I mean, don't tell kids things that they're not ready for. You have to be smart and, think things over before, ask more questions of them before you start telling them things in different levels of, and there are different levels of understanding. Okay. So somebody's laughing. Whoever put that down, I'm going to laugh. Thank you. Well, it is funny, kind of. Oh, dear. So how is everybody doing? Okay, good, good, good. So let's go on to my other little plan thing that I had for you today. Oh, and then I was angry. I told you I was angry, I think, at the beginning of this. I know I said it in the other session at 2 o'clock. But yeah, I'm angry because on the internet this morning, by chance, I just happened to fall on this thing that said relevant radio, but it didn't say radio, so I don't know if it's relevant radio or somebody was talking about the Pope and ridiculing him and telling him that he was a windbag. Don't listen to that windbag. I couldn't believe it. And then we want mass back in Latin, and that's what's screwing up the whole world, just like that, he said. And that's not the way God works, and that's not the way the world works. It's not. Just because we don't have Latin, well, they didn't. They had Latin in when the influenza hit, the Spanish flu in the 1916, 17s, 18. That wasn't that hot either, but it's not because of the Latin or because it's not ridiculous. And besides, the guy says we want it in Latin. Well, sweetheart, the mass was not just in Latin; it had Greek in it. Kyrie eleison, which means Lord have mercy, coming from the word kurios, and in the vocative case when you're talking to somebody, it changed. The ending changes. So kurios, Kyrie eleison, have mercy, Lord have mercy. Oh dear Lord. But anyway, he's talked about the Pope, and then he said that the Pope had embraced, and he showed the film where the Pope is embracing two homosexuals who were married. Okay, so we're gonna hate people because they follow another way of living. We don't condone it, but we don't hate the people. Can you imagine Jesus Christ saying that of Jesus Christ when he, instead of throwing a stone like a good Jew would have done at that prostitute, he makes everybody else go off and not stone her to death. And there he is with her. And he's not telling her, you know what, I can't really talk to you because, you're a prostitute. And if I talk to you, people are going to think that I condone prostitution. Nobody was in that frame of mind, although they probably were, the people around him. But he wasn't saying prostitution was good. He just saved her from that. He was nice to her. He talked to her. He didn't say, okay, I saved you, get away from me. No, because you're a prostitute. No. He just said, don't do that anymore. Try not to. And with these young men, they came to visit him. What's supposed to say, you're marrying it. Get out of here. No. Love the sinner, but hate the sin. And you can't say anybody's in sin. You can't say, oh, they got married, so they're in sin. You can't do that. It doesn't automatically happen. You have to see the person's intention, and only God can see that. You'll never know things and why they happen and the reason why they happen until you go to heaven and God divulges everything to you, which He's not going to do anyway because it's none of your business. Okay, I hate when they do that. Oh, like somebody put in one of our priests on the internet and said, "Oh, this guy, and this other guy is going to go to hell," and all. Oh my God, you know. Okay, so they molested some kids. They should be. If I were the Pope, I would pick an island and put them on there, and for the rest of their lives, because they've done something so horrible, and I've seen it happen, and I've counseled people that are going through hell because of what happened to them when they're 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 70 years ago, and they still remember it as if it were yesterday, even though they try not to. It's a destruction of somebody's life. It's a miracle more people haven't of the church. It's a horrible thing. But you don't condemn any brother, anybody. Yes, I will pray for you. Dice, pida por mí. Yeah, you don't destroy people. Hi, George. You don't destroy people. We do not destroy people. We just don't. You like people to put in a newspaper what you've done in the secrecy of your little room? Would you like that? Or things that they did to you in your past? No. So don't do it to other people. It's not right. Hi, Maite. Hi, Gloria. Hi, self. Oh, self. Oh, stop it with the self. Hi, Maria. Hi, Isa. ¿Cómo estás? Hi, George. Hi, Ruth. Okay, that's enough highs. Okay, let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay, today, ooh, time is flying. So don't criticize the Pope. Three things Don Bosco always said as good Salesians we should always back up. Hi, Tony. One of them is the Eucharist, the other one is the Pope, and the one in between is the Virgin Mary. Those were the three great devotions of Don Bosco. Now, the Eucharist. When you take Jesus in the bread, which is not bread anymore, and you take him in the wine, which is not wine anymore, then you're actually touching Almighty God. That's amazing because Jesus is God and he's also man. So you're touching the body of Christ, which is God, man. That's amazing. Isn't it amazing? Is it really the body and blood of Christ? Yes. And this is what the church teaches. When you take of the wine, it's the body and blood of Christ. Not no more wine. When you take the bread, it's the body and blood of Christ. It's not this division. Okay, it's one here and one there. And oh boy, I'm going to get more Jesus. No, it's just the sign is fuller. That's how they describe it. Okay. But you're touching Jesus. And you know what's even better than that? When we think about ourselves in a way, right now it's the Eucharist is the most beautiful gift we have in the entire universe. But when the world ends, the hosts are gone. The blood and the body and blood of Jesus is gone. And the wine, well, it hasn't been consecrated because we don't keep it in the tabernacle. In some places they do. But we consume it. But at the end of the world, everything's going to be gone. And guess who's going to be around? You and me. Can you imagine? We're eternal. So what's more important to God? His Son and us. And we're going to be on and on and on for the rest of our existence. We're not going to end. In a way, we're like God once we get onto this planet, because we're eternal. That's a word they made up, meaning I have a beginning, but I don't have an end. God had a beginning, but then he has no end. No finish, okay? He's a spirit. Okay, so that's nice. Well, how to explain the Eucharist? Is it really Jesus's body and blood? How can he do that? Well, he tried to explain it to us one way. Remember when he had just a few fishes and a few loaves, and then he just kept on digging in there and bringing more out and more. So he fed 5,000 people. And some people try to explain it away. Oh, it wasn't a miracle. It's just that when Jesus asked the little boy to share his meal, everybody else go, oh, how nice. Let's share our meal, which we had hidden from everybody. And now we're going to share it with everybody else. I don't think so. That's kind of silly. But they try to explain things away. It wasn't a miracle. Yes, it was. They collected 12 big baskets full of what was left over. But that's not the important thing is that he showed us that he can multiply things from nothing. And it's real. They were real fish and real food because God made everything from nothing, no thing. Eh? God is no thing. He's not nothing. He's no thing. He's not the spirit, perfect and pure. No moving parts, no nothing. Just the spirit, the most purest spirit and perfect spirit ever, ever, ever. Because he created everything. He's everything. He's in everything, through everything, with everything. Amazing. So how is this bread the body of Christ and the blood of Christ? How is the wine the body and blood of Christ? Well, I'll try to explain it to you, and it's not going to explain it to you at all, really. But maybe it'll give you an idea. Okay. How many of you have pets? Press the little hearts. Go ahead. I know it's going to take you a long while to press the little heart because it's so much energy that it takes to press the little heart. I'm being sarcastic. Press the little heart. So, how many of you have dogs or fishies or pets? Just press the little heart button. Do you know where the little heart button even is? Anybody, just press. At least one person has to have a dog. Or I have two cats, but they're not mine. They came with the house. But I do have to feed them and keep them happy. And they like me. They always wait for me at the door when I have to feed them, of course. And then they like to play a little bit. And then they like to fight each other. And then they sleep all day hardly. And at night they're pouncing around. Okay, very good. So you have a pet. Very good. Okay. If you ever had a pet, let's make it a dog. Okay. Then you notice that they do the same thing every day unless you train them to do all kinds of other stuff, like walk backwards and tumble and die, and do all kinds of stuff, but they're trained and you give them a little treat. Otherwise, they won't do anything. They'll just be there all day and all night eating, making babies, and then sleeping. And that's all they do. That's all they do. They don't rationalize things. They have minds and brains. They have to have some type of living principle that Aristotle in ancient times called the suke. Okay, they have to, anything that lives like trees and grass. I mean, there's a living principle that otherwise it can't grow. Okay, so they have souls, but they have plant souls and they have animal souls, and then we have a different type. We're animals too, you know. What is the definition of an animal? It's a person that it's something that's a person. It's a thing that can walk. Okay, can go from one place to the next. They can also they eat from the other worlds, the other kingdoms, like other animals and plants and all that. What else describes an animal? So he's ambulatory. He can walk from one place to another, usually, and he can communicate somehow, meow meow or woof woof or something. They can communicate with each other, kind of, and and they have a spirit and on and on. You can describe a person. A person, an animal by those traits. Well, we're animals. We eat, we walk, we go from one place to the other. We're like like you can say monkeys. Although we're really really different from the rest of the animal kingdom because we can think. So a good definition of a human being has always kind of been a rational animal. Okay, a thinking animal. Uh, Okay, so one day your little doggy comes in and goes, "Hi, master. Today I'm going to take my wife out and we're going to go to IKEA or IKEA and we're going to buy furniture because you don't provide us with furniture. Therefore, two and two is four. So we're going to get our own. Plus, after we go there, we're going to go to the little eating place down there, the doggy diner, and we're going to have food. And then we're going to go see a movie. Lassie Comes Home or whatever, or Beethoven. And then we're going to come home and then we're going to get ready for our little children. So we're going to buy little cribs and everything. Okay, by that time you're going, I'm going to take this little animal here and we're going to make $1 billion because he can talk. He acts like a human being. Well, surprise, I have a wonderful surprise for you. He is a human being. The definition changes because now he can think as a human being. So he's no longer a dog, he's a human being. He smells like a dog, he acts like a dog. He smells like, yeah, he smells like a dog, acts like a dog, looks like a dog, has the coloring of a dog, weighs like a dog, but he's not a dog anymore. He's a human being. What happened? Whatever you call dogness, that means St. Thomas Aquinas took Aristotle, his learning, and in the 13th century, around the 13th, 14th century, St. Thomas Aquinas applied all that knowledge of a pagan to Christian thought, how God exists and all that stuff. And he would call what makes a thing, what defines a thing, the substance. Okay, let's say that. And whatever is added onto that substance, which makes the thing a thing, is called an accident. You don't really need it for it to be what it is. Okay. Like, for instance, this glass looks like this glass, but they're a different shape. So let's take shape and put it over here. This one, not only is pretty heavy, okay. This weight is heavier than this one, and are way heavier than this one, but less, not that heavy as this one, as heavy as this one. But this is the heaviest, okay? So let's take the weight and put it over here, okay? And then one of them might be colored glass, and the other one is like clear glass. So let's take color and put it over here. So you keep on taking things out that aren't really, that change, but there's something that doesn't change. And Aristotle called it glass ness. He didn't call it that, but I mean, I'm trying to make it up. Glassness. So glassness always stays the same. So you can say, oh, there's a glass, there's a glass, there's a glass. You see a tumbler, that's a glass. You see a tiny little thing like this, that's a glass because it's used for this or that or that. You see a beautiful vase, that's still kind of like a glass if you drink from it. If they drink from it, and you go on and on and on and on. But whatever makes how you recognize it as a glass is that it has the essence. That means glassness, and all the other things are accrued on it. They're called accidents. Okay, that's the way they talk. That's kind of a silly analogy, but it's not really that silly. It explains things kind of. So the dog, the color of the dog, the weight of the dog, the smell of the dog, all those things are accidents. What makes the dog the dog? Dogness. He can look like he could be a hairless dog. He could be a big, gigantic dog, a small dog. He can weigh this, he can weigh that. He would this color, that color. He would be this. But all those are accidents. What makes a dog? Once you say dog, they're all dogs. Okay. So he called it dogness. Okay. Won't change. If a dog is a dog, is a dog is a dog. Okay. What happened in the case where the dog was talking, the dogness that holds all those accidents together, okay, went out, and human spirit, or whatever you call humanity, went in there. And now he's not a dog anymore. Looks like a dog, smells like a dog, because what really makes him a dog is what is now human. The dogness is out, the humanness is in. Okay. In the Eucharist, and this is you can't explain it, but this is just one little teensy-weensy way of explaining it. Okay. You have donuts. They're not the same as a pretzel. They don't look like a pretzel. They don't smell like a pretzel. They don't weigh like a pretzel. Everything. You take those things off, weight and smell and shape and color and all that. And what remains? You have a birthday cake. It's bread. You get a matzo ball. It's bread. The shape is different. The weight is different. The smell is different. The look, the color, etc. All those things. Just leave them out. And what are you left with? Breadness. Okay, that's the essence. We can't really see it as such, but it holds all those other accidents together, so to speak. Okay. In the host, which is like plastic, and really they should make the host thicker, and they do in some churches. They make it look like bread, but we can't because there's so many people, That's why they have this little plastic thing. Well, it's really bread, okay. Thin little thing. But what happens is the breadness that is there holding on, the color of white, the weight, which is really almost nothing, okay, the shape, which is round, all those things out, 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 it's holding those together, is called breadness. The breadness goes out as, I mean, it doesn't happen like how, but anyway, I'm just trying to explain that the breadness goes out, Jesusness comes in. It's no longer bread. It's Jesus. It smells like bread, tastes like bread. If you are sick, if you take bread, you know that disease people, it's not a disease, it's just an allergy that they can't, whatever it is, that they can't have bread. Okay. It'll still get them sick, but it's Jesus now. Mhm. It's Jesus. Really, truly, you're touching God. It may look like bread, it may smell like bread, it may weigh like bread, it may be colored like bread, but it's no longer bread. It's Jesus. That's called transubstantiation. The substance, what makes it what it is changed from bread to Jesus. But the accidents remain the same. Wow. It's like hiding behind something in a way. But in this case, you're actually touching Almighty God. It's a great gift. It's the biggest gift God ever. Why did He do it? Why did He want to be like that instead of just coming down and being our friend and being everybody's friend and being everywhere at the same time? Well, He's God, but He's also man. He has a body. He wants to share that with all of us. And He can do it with His glorified body. We don't know. Really, that's just a little explanation I gave you. We don't know how really it is, but it's a nice explanation. I like it. Is that okay? Did you like it? Little hearts, little hearts. Okay. What else? Oh, yeah. So now we're going to go back to God loves us so much, He even put Himself in a little piece of bread and wine. Okay. That's really being humble, God. And God, you can't be humble because He's perfect. Nothing can be better than Him. So He can say, I'm perfect. And we have to adore Him for that. That's amazing, isn't it? Okay, now we're going to take my favorite book of the season, which yes, I'm reading, and I also read his other book that I have over here, which is an excellent book too, and it's also by Pope Francis. He's a great writer. The other popes tried to write, but they were very clinical. This is very. This is Gaudete exultate, which means be joyful, be exult. Go around screaming Jesus. So this is how to be holy. Well, we'll take that next. I read this book. It's excellent. This one I'm still reading. It's a big, thick thing, but yeah, we're catching up on it. So this is Amores Laetitia, which means the happiness of love. It should be happy. Sometimes it's not, and it's our fault when it's not. Okay, because we make life miserable for other people, and that's not nice. Okay, remember we took the section from the lyrical poem, kind of from Saint Paul, about love is kind, love is gentle, love is this, love is patient, and all that. And it says love in marriage. But why? But this applies to everybody because parents are supposed to give their children an example of love. And if they're not patient, if they're not at the service of others, I'm just going down the line. We've already taken is not jealous. Okay. Love is not boastful, and love is not rude, and love is generous, and love is not irritable. And then we've already taken these. And then love forgives. Now, this is a biggie. Okay, this is a biggie. Love forgives. We have to forgive. It's not just, oh, if I want to forgive, I'll forgive. No, we have to forgive. Okay, we have to. Okay. And the word here is, let me see, which one did we take? There's all things. Okay. Speaking of other God. Yeah, there's all things. Okay. Oh, we already took this. Yeah, that's right. We already took that God is a cheerful giver. God loves people who give cheerfully. That was last Saturday, so in one day I forgot. Okay. The next one is love bears all things. Okay. And oh, it's already time. Well, I'll just be a little bit longer with you, and um we'll just take one paragraph. Well, this is we've already taken love is kind, love is patient, love is all this stuff, and not envious, etc. But now he says the prayer of Saint Paul ends up with four other things that we need to be loving people. He says Paul's list ends with four phrases containing the words all things, like love forgives all things, love bears with all things. Okay, he says love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. And it means all inclusive, all. Here we are clearly the here we see clearly the countercultural power of a love that is able to face whatever might threaten it. Because the culture we have today is you can do whatever you want. If it feels good, do it. You're an individual. Don't let anybody lead your life and all that stuff. You know, individualism is sometimes not good. Okay, if we think that we're self-sufficient, we don't need anybody. No. Okay, now let's go to the first one. First, Paul says, love bears all things. Panta stegei. I love Greek. Really, it sounds really cool. Panta stegei. It sounds panta. What a difficult word. Not really. Did you ever go to the movies when you were a kid and you saw Panavision? That means all vision. That's all. Pan American. Pan means all the Americas, not Peter Pan. Okay, that's something else. So panta, that's a plural word, and it says pantastige. All things you bear. Oh, so we say bear all things, kind of like switching the words around. Then he says, this is about more than simply putting up with evil. Okay. Not bear, oh, I'm going to bear my husband who beats me up and all that. I'm going to bear with it. No, I don't think so. Call 911. It has to do with and husbands and wives and husbands, not just, uh-huh. It has to do with this use of the tongue. The verb can mean holding one's peace, hold your tongue about what may be wrong with another person. It implies limiting judgment, checking the impulse to issue a firm and ruthless condemnation. Ruthless, ew. Judge not, and you will not be judged. That's from St. Luke. Ah, okay. Although it runs, oh, hi, Wilma. Hi, Rodrigo. Hi, Otilia. Okay. Although it runs contrary to the way we normally use our tongues, God's word tells us do not speak evil against one another, brothers and sisters. That's from James. I love James' epistle or letter, the letters of James, the letter of James. I'm sorry, the letter of James. It's a long one, but it's a good one. If you want to know how to be a real good practical Catholic, read it. Being willing to speak ill of another person is a way of asserting ourselves, venting resentment and envy without concern for the harm we may do. I don't care. I'm going to talk about that person. I'm going to make fun of him and I'm going to get his name, excuse me, and drag it through the, you know what. It is a grave offense against God, not just a person, when it seriously harms another person's good name and causes damage that is hard to repair. Once you say something about somebody, somebody will always think about that person in that way, even though later on he finds out it's not true. But for the time being, that's the way he's going to think about that person. Hi, Ben. So he says, hence God's word forthrightly states that the tongue, and this is a quote from James chapter 3, verse 6, is a world of iniquity that stains the whole body. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. St. James, the next two verses down. And then, whereas the tongue can be used to curse those who are made in the likeness of God. When you curse somebody, you bring down somebody down. You're bringing down someone who was made in the likeness, or like we say, in the image of God. Love cherishes the good name of others, even our enemies. In seeking to uphold God's law, we must never forget the specific requirement of love. Don't talk ugly about people. Don't tear down people. Don't do that. And I'll leave you with the story, and then I have to go. Ooh, I went over time. Sorry. Sorry. There was a lady who, I think I've told you the story before, who went to confession to a priest, and she was known as the woman who would tear people apart with her tongue and talk about people in a very bad way. And she seemed not to care about it that much. She just went to confession. Bless me, Father, I've sinned. I talked about this person, I talked about that person. I tore that person's name to shreds, and I'm sorry. So he goes, okay, what I want you to do you have a pillow made out of feathers? What do you call it? Oh, I forget it. Down? Yeah, down. Nice, fluffy, beautiful feathers. And she goes, no. I says, well, go buy one. And then go up to that hill up there with very windy hill, and then open the pillow up and just throw all the feathers all over the place. She goes, is that all I have to do? She goes, yeah. And then come back in 3 weeks. So she went, bought a pillow, beautiful, tons of feathers, and she went up to the hill and she just let it go. And it was really windy that day, and the feathers were all over the place. So she went home. She was all happy. And 3 weeks later, she went to the priest. I did what you told me. What did I tell you? Oh, the feather thing. Yes. Now go back and pick up every one of those feathers and bring them back to me. She goes, are you crazy? I couldn't, probably the feathers are already in another state. And she goes, you see, when you say something bad about somebody, it's not just going to, oh, I promise I won't tell. It'll probably be in Europe the next minute after the guy gets or the woman gets on a computer and sends all the juicy stuff that she heard about this other person from you. So you spread, how are you going to ever bring those things back? That's why we have purgatory, because if we don't do sacrifices here, those things are still hurting people. Okay. We've been forgiven already, but that's why we need to make up for temporal punishment due to sin. That's what it's called. Remember, we used to study that in catechism? Oh, dear God. Yeah, sin stays around. Have you ever seen somebody who's been molested? Sin stays around for the rest of that person's life. That's why the Pope almost said, just get these people and get rid of them. That almost, he didn't say that, but he wanted to show how ugly that sin of molestation of kids or even adults is. Destroys their whole life. Even their married life in the end is not as satisfied as it could be because of that. Now, there are excellent psychologists that can help people out and all that and get through all this horrible stuff, but it's just sad. In the meantime, that what we talked about right now, don't be putting priest pictures on and saying, this guy's going to go to hell and all that. I saw that today. I couldn't believe it. What kind of Catholics are we? We want to bring people down that way. They're already suffering enough. Now, I'm not condoning this sin. It's the worst thing ever. Like divorce, next worst thing ever, really. But it's usually somebody's, well, and sometimes you have to get separated or divorced. It's just not working. And it never worked. That's the idea. There's no divorce in the church, but there is annulment. That means when the man or the woman took their vows, they didn't mean it. They were lying in a way, you could say. Or they didn't know they didn't know what marriage was all about. All kinds of stuff. We'll talk about that later. Have a nice day. Geez, after we talked about all this stuff, you're going to have a nice day. Yes. And look, see the Pope? Nice Pope. Nice smile. Yes. Nice smile. He's a good man. Don't tear him apart like these idiots that are talking about him in a bad way. And he's such a good man. He's trying his best. And he's normal human being, which is nice. Beverly, bye. Have a nice one, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Everybody says, you look tired. I am tired of doing nothing. Well, I do something here and there once in a while, like say Mass. I have Mass tonight at 7. I will pray for all of you. It's in Spanish, but it's life. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you later. Alligator after a while, crocodile. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, how are you?